So, the Bādhaka. Somebody tell me how do we calculate the Bādhaka? There's actually 3 different ways, but the primary way we use to calculate Bādhaka.
Chirarashi is 11.
You start with the movable signs Aries and you count the 11 from it. I forgot how I heard this story on one of the CDs, and then you go to Taurus and you count the 9 from it, and that's a fixed sign. And then you go to Gemini and you count the 7 from it. And then you start the series over again, and then you go to Cancer. And I forgot, it works its way backward. So then you can get the sign from it. So.
Easiest to remember. Movable sign, we go to the 11. When we look at movable, our first movable sign is Aries. It's the natural first house. And the 11 is the natural house ruled by Rahu. So it's showing for the movable signs, it's the 11th house. For fixed signs, it goes to the 9th. And for dual signs, it goes to the 7th. Each one moving to the 11th from. So you'll be less
complicated.
Yeah.
Why 11th house is designated as a Bādhaka?
Its natural lord is Rahu.
Oh, it's a cause of your rebirth.
Aquarius.
So that's why it's...
Aquarius is lorded by Saturn and Rahu. And Rahu is the Bādhaka. The Bādhaka is the natural signification of Rahu. Pretty, so...
Have you look at the lords of those houses?
Oh, we're getting there. So those houses become the Bādhaka sthana, the place of the Bādhaka. The lord of that house becomes the Bādhaka. The Bādhaka sthana or the Bādhaka is going to cause obstacles. Rarely will both be causing obstacles.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes everybody has, If there's a planet in the Bādhaka sthana, that's going to be the Bādhaka. That's going to be the main obstacle in the chart. The main Bādhaka causing factor. If there's no planet there, then we follow the Bādhaka and see where the Bādhaka is placed. And that's the main Bādhaka to be removed. If there's planets in the Bādhaka, they will cause more problem than the Bādhaka. And need to be worried about they become the primary Bādhaka. Okay?
Any planet in the Bādhaka sthana is more powerful than the Bādhaka.
Yes, for Bādhaka.
Or more damaging?
More
Right,
Bādhaka.
I heard the opposite.
Huh.
Planets in the Bādhaka are the primary.
In Bādhaka sthana.
Bādhaka
Wait,
sthana.
planets in the Bādhaka sthana will be the Bādhaka causing
Primary Bādhaka.
planet.
Yeah.
Okay, if there are 2 of them there,
Then they're both in Bādhaka.
Okay.
It's just more Bādhaka.
and then if there's no planets and you follow the
The Lord.
ruler of the Bādhaka
Yeah.
sthana, and it's the planets with it, with the ruler, or is it the ruler?
It's the ruler. He's the Bādhaka.
Bādhaka.
Bādhaka. And what we're looking for is what deities are angry at us. What deities do we have to make happy? Now, last time we had class, I was doing a reading for Kathy before class, and she got stuck in traffic, and then there was an accident, and she was stuck even more. She called, she said, I'm stuck. I knew the first thing that when she got here, first thing I looked at was the Bādhaka. It was first. That was that she was stuck. The Bādhaka makes things stuck, makes things get stuck from not working. Occasionally, it'll make people go to foreign places. During the dasha of the Bādhaka, people will go to a foreign land, just like Rahu. It'll act just like Rahu in many ways. So I looked at the chart, and in the chart, it's the Lagna Lord? Is it the Lagna? The Bādhaka is in the 6th house with the 9th Lord, Sun. And and so we worked a lot with that, and a lot of the first thing I looked for, because that Nimitta for stuck late, there was, not only did she come late, but there was a Bādhaka that happened to her on the way. She got stuck. So how do we take care of the Bādhaka? Or first, let's look at, there's so much with the Bādhaka. When you start getting into the Bādhaka, because it's unseen, the whole bunch of verses after the Bādhaka, it's all on demonology. Really dark. Have you looked at it before?
Just from what I've read a little bit in Sanjay's thing about all these different...
Oh no, he doesn't even touch it.
He doesn't even touch it? Oh,
he doesn't
God.
even touch it. It goes in there. We'll get to that soon. A little bit, we'll skim over it just so that you know that it exists. So you know where to look if the problem arises. So if we look at the 12th house from the Bādhaka, that generally tells us how we treated the deity in our last life. And where the Bādhaka is actually situated tells us why the deity is mad at us.
12th from the sthana or the...
With the Bādhaka.
Whatever the main Bādhaka calls in problem. If there's planets in that, then you look from the 12th from it. Otherwise you look wherever the Bādhaka is coming from.
Excuse me, we're looking in the D1?
Hmm?
We are looking in the D1.
Yes.
Okay.
For Bādhaka, we're staying in the D1.
Mhm.
No jumping around. There's enough unseen here. Yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time it's 12th from Bādhaka, but it depends where the real Bādhaka is coming from. And that'll tell us how we treated the deity. If there's malefics there, we didn't, malefic things. If there's benefics there, we did well. Wherever the house the Bādhaka goes to, it'll often show that's why the deity has some issue with us. If it's in the 1st house, generally it's associated with the actual murti of the deity. And so the deity wasn't taken care of, or the deity, if Mars if the Bādhaka is there was something wrong with the deity. Something wrong with our care of the deity, and if Mars is aspecting it, it was broken. If Saturn's there, it was dirty and not cleaned. So how important it is to keep the pictures of the deities clean, to make sure that they're not broken, to make sure that we're doing the proper puja. If the Bādhaka falls in the 2nd, some money was misappropriated that should have been going to the deity. And I'm saying the deity, it could be the church the person belongs to, it could be the synagogue the person belongs to, it could be the temple, whatever religion is. We have to make sure that we fit this into the person's religion of the chart we're reading. Okay. So...
Is the sun considered a malefic in this case? Because the sun represents the soul.
We're looking at more the curse-causing planets when we look at the aspects. So how do we get over the Bādhaka? Before we move too far away from the deities. And then we'll go deeper into Bādhaka. How do we get over the Bādhaka?
Would you worship the planet that has cursed you? The one
You would appease the planet.
We want to appease the planet. Okay,
So you
but
would
how?
appease the Bādhaka.
We need to appease. The Bādhaka is showing us what deity is angry at us.
Oh, really? Okay, so then...
It is so we're worshipping the Bādhaka, but how do we worship the Bādhaka? So first, let's look here. What's your Bādhakash?
Venus.
Venus. And so Venus is in what sign?
It's in Gemini.
Gemini. Gemini is Rajas, Tamas, or Sattva?
Rajas.
Okay. So what form is Venus taking?
What form is Venus taking?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Venus in a Rajasic sign.
Oh,
Okay.
now we look at our paper.
So now you see why we went over that first.
Ah,
Okay.
So Lakshmi. So you need to worship Lakshmi to get over the Bādhaka.
To get over the Bādhaka, I wouldn't go 12th from.
No. That's just giving us indication. Let's
That's
focus
just
on
giving us indication.
an indication of
Right.
what the situation is, why you're having Bādhaka. Let's look. What's your Bādhakash?
Venus. No, that's
Okay.
the ruler of
What's your lord of? What's your Lagna lord?
Cancer.
Cancer. So which house is her Bādhaka as a Cancer Lagna? 11th. 11th house. Is everybody getting that? And so that makes it
Taurus.
okay. And
Venus is
so
in Taurus.
and Venus is in Taurus. So Venus is in the Bādhaka house.
Right.
Okay. And so and Taurus is a Rajasic sign. So again, Lakshmi.
Wait, wouldn't Taurus be a Tamasic sign because it's fixed?
No. We're looking at the
The Lord.
Lord.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So same as,
There's two different ways to look at the
you look
signs.
at the Lord,
For
okay.
this, we're looking.
In
at
this
the
case,
Lord.
it's a sort of a double Bādhaka because we already
Oh,
said
it's
it's
just- it's-
Venus and it also happens to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but the thing is, it's a beneficial house,
yes.
and it's a beneficial combination. So it'll be Bādhaka at first, but once she gets over the Bādhaka, it's going to give a lot of good.
I see.
So we have to, both are. There's going to be a little bit more of an obstacle, but once that obstacle's crossed, it'll be.
It better.
Yeah. If it was the same thing, if let's say Venus was a planet, it was in a Dusthana in its own sign, then we wouldn't have the same. Then we'd say it could be really bad, Bādhaka. But because of its beneficial placement, a beneficial planet, it's in its own sign. We're looking at a situation that's going to be Bādhaka at first, but it's just waiting. It's just that the fruit tree didn't have the fertilizer, so we need to fertilize it properly so that it gives us lots of at that level. So
Virgo Lagna.
Virgo Lagna,
Virgo Lagna. Jupiter is the Vagish.
Bādhaka.
But it's in the 11th,
It's in the 11th.
so it's exalted. But I have the moon also in the 7th.
Okay, so the moon is there, but so the moon is going to be our primary Bādhaka, calls her. So the moon is in a Jupiterian sign.
Yeah, it's in Pisces.
Okay, and what's the tithi of your moon?
Remember, I know it's in Revati. It's at 26 degree.
Okay, but is it the tithi? Do you know where's the sun?
It's the sun is in the 10th. No, my moon is 3 lashes away from the sun, so it's
Moving towards or moving away from?
towards the dark moon.
Moving towards a dark moon. So Kali. Okay.
Within a Lagna, so Sagittarius is the Bādhaka sign, so Jupiter's Bādhaka and it's sitting in the 8th house in Capricorn.
Ooh, 8th house in Capricorn.
Yeah.
Help me.
Okay.
Would I do that?
So how would we worship that Jupiter?
I forgot what Guna Capricorn is.
That would be Tamasic.
Into a dasha that the Bādhaka is giving effect or these kind of things, you use that form. But so don't get attachment to it. Worship the Ishta always, and be happy with the Ishta. If you need the other forms, you use the other forms for the purpose, to remove the obstacle or this or that. Okay.
So you're saying you don't need to do a ceremony or worship?
We'll get to that. Let's get the form first.
Okay.
Structure. We're going with structure. Let's make sure everybody has their form.
Right.
Or are we ready to move on? Does everybody understand their form?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Well, first.
Mine is Aries, Lagna, and Rahu is my Bādhaka, and also in the 11th, Bādhaka Sthana.
Okay. And so
I see here Sarpa, DT.
Sarpa, I would use Durga. Just for Rahu in general. You're safer using Durga.
Now, why did you say Durga and not Sarpa?
You can worship snakes if you want. But to worship Durga, she who removes the snakes and cleanses the snakes, you'll get better results.
Okay. So he has asked me to donate a murti because Saturn is in Lagna, 12th form.
Yeah.
I did it.
We'll get to those remedies in a few minutes and why. And I disagree with some of them, but I'll give you my kind of conceptual of Nagas in general. Once we get into the deeper, right now we're on the superficial Bādhaka, then we'll get into cases like hers, where it's just multiple levels of
Getting
Bādhaka.
studied.
That's right.
So, Leo Lagna.
Leo Lagna?
So Mars is the Bādhaka.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Cancer,
Mm-hmm.
the 12th house,
Okay.
and it's with Saturn.
Guess what?
I have to do.
Come shake my hand.
Oh, you have the same thing.
No. We don't have a Bādhaka.
Oh,
You don't have one either?
why? What happened?
If the Bādhaka goes to the 12th house,
Oh yeah.
It's finished.
no, it means that we took care of the deity properly in our last life, and
I see.
we don't have a.
Even though Saturn is with.
Even if Saturn's there, it's 12th house.
I see. So Bādhaka is gone in this case. I
Bādhaka
mean, at the
is,
superficial level, like you said.
and the Bādhaka was Mars, so it's a blessing of Kartikeya. Kartikeya is blessing you and removing obstacles.
So very happy. I mean, that is what is removing the obstacle.
Yeah, it's the Bādhaka is removing its, for me it's Jupiter in the 12th house, so it's the blessings of Shiva. Yeah. Remove just Shiva has the Bādhaka has gone into the house of removing Bādhaka, so that planet is blessing you.
Now, 11th or 12th from this Bādhaka is Rahu.
12th, and that's yeah.
I mean, you asked what the 12th is.
Yeah.
But fundamentally, it's gone. Therefore, you don't need to.
You did some very strange worship, but the deity was happy with it.
In the
So
past life, so just
yeah, but the deity was happy with this. So,
Interesting.
if you look at Gandhi had the same thing.
Oh, I see.
And there's even one line in the scriptures that says, because, Sun is Marnakarka Sthana in the 12th. But for Libra Lagna, it's good in the 12th, because it's the Bādhaka going to the 12th.
Oh, I see.
So Gandhi had Sun as Bādhaka in the 12th, and he just said, Ram, 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 and every obstacle fell down in front of him. The whole government, he wanted to take care of the government, Ram, Ram, Ram. He activated that Sun, and he moved. What obstacle is in the way? So in that same way, if you call on, that Mars, it can easily
when you say
remove.
that Mars, and it's considering that it's in a even sign. It's Chamundi or other female.
Even sign. And what's the sign? The sign is, you said you were Leo, so it's Cancer.
Cancer. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's Nietzsche.
Oh, he wants you to.